Heaven can wait. Her 118th birthday wish is to die soon. But in the meantime, Lucille Randon, better known as Sister Andre, always keeps her door open for any visitor who might want to say hello. Sister Andre is the oldest known woman in France and Europe, and the second oldest in the world after King Tanaka, a 119-year-old who lives in Japan. She was born in Alèche, southern France on February 11, 1904, the year that New York opened its first subway. The Tour de France had only been run once and World War I was still a decade away. In her room in a retirement home in the southern city of Toulon, Sister Andre has a single bed, a Virgin Mary statue and a radio which she never turns on anymore. The outside world, she says, is too stressful. Most of the time she sits in her wheelchair, her head tilted to one side, her blind eyes shut. Is she praying, thinking, or napping? It's hard to say, but when she speaks, her voice is present and her recollections vivid. Her daily routine starts at 7 a.m. when she is woken up and taken to breakfast, before being wheeled to morning mass, which she, always dressed in her nun's habit, never misses. He's charming. It's awful that I depend on others for everything I do, said Sister Andre, who worked full-time until the late 1970s and took care of other, often younger, home residents until she was 100. I'm happy when I have company, she said, especially that of David Tavella, a staffer at the home that she has been living in for a decade, and her favorite companion. He's charming, she said, grasping his hand. Tavella also acts as her press agent, fielding interview requests from reporters, sifting through the many boxes of chocolates sent by admirers, and checking her post. Most centenarians are found in the world's so-called blue zones where people live longer than average. They are in Okinawa in Japan, on the Italian island of Sardinia, the Greek island of Icaria, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and in the Californian city of Loma Linda. France, although no blue zone, was still home to the world's oldest person with certified birth records, Jean Calment, who lived in Provence, dying in 1997 in Alès aged 122. The man presumed to be the oldest in France also calls the south of the country home. André Boit is one of the very few male supercentenarians, a term defined as living beyond 110 years. At 111, Boit still lives in his own home, likes wearing three-piece suits, and stays away from reporters. In 2015, there were 500,000 people over 100 in the world, with the UN saying this figure could grow to 25 million by the end of the century. France alone has 30,000 centenarians, compared with only 200 in 1950, according to Statistics Institute NC, with some 40 of them 110 or older. Among them is Hermine Saubion, who, when reminded of her age, says, "That's old, that's not young, I'm holding up." But when she wakes up from a nap in her wheelchair at the retirement home canteen in Banon, in the foothills of the Alps, her face lights up with a smile, and she looks attentively at her visitor. Saubion has no specific illness, but her body has gone immobile, and she is almost deaf, picking up only the occasional word, which isolates her from her surroundings. Saubion, who is from Marseille and became a resident in the home 2 years ago, said she never expected that she and her sister Emilienne, who is 102, would live this long. Centenarians such as Sister Andre and Hermine Saubion often get by without pharmaceutical drugs, which is probably one of the secrets of their longevity, said Sister Andre's doctor, Genevieve Hagi-Idriguez. Nothing can touch her, the doctor said of Sister Andre, whose physical shape she calls absolutely incredible. Sister Andre herself puts her resilience down to the fact that she got through the Spanish flu, a deadly wave of influenza, in 1918, unharmed. She may be onto something. Researchers have observed that people born before the Spanish flu have better resistance to COVID-19 than those born later. It will come. Nearby, in a retirement home in Valreas in Provence, lives Aline Blaine, a 110-year-old retired teacher. Known to be sometimes bossy and sometimes sweet, Blaine likes to read Paris Match, a celebrity magazine. Her daughter Monique, 76, comes almost every day to look after her mother, who says those visits are the most important thing for me. She is among the lucky ones. Many people this old have nobody to share their life's memories with, because most friends and family of their generation are already gone. Their own death, meanwhile, rarely holds any taboos for the supercentenarian. We're waiting for the end, for death. It will come, said Saubion. Sister Andre even admits to a certain impatience. To be alone all day with the pain is no fun, she said. But, God is not hearing me. He must be deaf. Scientists haven't uncovered all the secrets for a long life, but they have some idea of what it takes. Longevity goes hand in hand with material wealth, and with democracy, specifically social democracy, said Jean-Marie Robin, demographer and gerontologist at INSERM, a biomedical research institute. Nutritional factors play a big role, he said, with the Japanese diet of fish and vegetables found to foster longevity, just like the vegetable-based Mediterranean diet. While good genes play a part, healthy living seems to be fundamental for anybody hoping to grow this old. Jean Calment ticked all the boxes for longevity. Her lifestyle was flawless, said Catherine Levrod, head of the geriatric ward at All's Hospital. She started smoking at 25, but just one little cigarillo per day, and a small glass of port in the evening. She avoided all excesses. Psychological factors, such as people's general attitude toward life, are also crucial. We know that an optimistic outlook has a direct link to the mechanics of the immune system, said Daniela S. Jopp, a professor for the psychology of aging at Lausanne University in Switzerland. In her research into German and American centenarians, she found that they were often extroverts, charismatic, at ease in social situations, passionate about something, goal-oriented and able to find adaptation strategies when dealing with problems. AFP